राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। So we will start with the prayers. First of all, I welcome you all for today's session, and I seek your blessings so that whatever I speak is in the parampara and for the pleasure of the Lord. Let us start with the prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapad Shri Gurum Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna all. Those who can switch on their cameras, please switch on so that I can also have your darshan. And then let us start with today's session. Yes, anybody can say 1 or 2 points from last session. Anybody would like to share some 1 or 2 points from last session?
Mataji,
Yes.
Arjuna preferred to watch to see the two-handed form of Krishna than the Virat Rupa. Devotees prefer seeing the two-handed form of Bhagwan than the Virat Rupa. That's one of the points I could say. Mataji.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Yes, anything else anybody wants to say? Otherwise, we will start with the session.
Mataji, may I?
Yes, yes, Rohini Mataji.
Mataji, in the beginning of this chapter, in the beginning, we understood that why Arjuna asked to see the universal form and why God showed his universal form. So in the purport, there was a message that, like you said last time, in this Kali Yuga, there would be many imposters. And if they say that I am the Lord, we can ask them. Then on Friday, in the Mataji's class, there was another important thing that I learned from the purport, where the Lord is saying, Arjuna, that today you have seen this particular form, which no one can see, my no Vedas or no rituals, no one will be here, so for neophytes like me. So there may be people who may come and say that I have seen the transcendental form of the Lord, or I have seen the Vishwarupa. So your God is saying, no one can see this. So in this last verse, I think it was 48, he's saying that no one can see it. So if someone is saying, it's a red flag. So this from the purport, it was also very clear.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Yes, thank you so much. So, yes, we will start with today's, I think you have completed till 47, right? Can somebody confirm?
48.
You have completed till 48?
Yeah.
Mataji.
Yes.
47.
47, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah. So we will start with verse number 48 today. So as Mataji said, before that, one thing last time somebody has asked, are Virat Roop and Vishwaroop same? And at that time I had said it is same, but because it was written in Bhagavatam that Vishwaroop or Virat Roop, so it was there was a little confusion. So I just want to clarify that. So they are not exactly same; they are different. Why? Because Virat Roop, it is an imaginary form of the Lord. The people who cannot understand Lord, they try to see Lord in this universe. So they imagine the Lord as he is spreaded all over the universe, and the upper planetary, the topmost planet is his head, and the lower planetary systems are his legs, and the mountains and the trees are the veins of his body, and they try to imagine this to see Lord in that way. Okay, so this is the form. Generally neophytes, they consider this form as the form of the Lord. So that is called as Virata Rupa. It is imaginary form, and gradually by seeing Lord like this, gradually they come to the level of seeing Lord as Paramatma and then finally Bhagwan. But this Virat Rupa form is imaginary. And now we in this 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we are discussing about the Vishwarup or universal form of the Lord. And this universal form is nothing but what all things Lord has described, as I said last time, that what all things we have, Lord has described in chapters number 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so this universal form is kind of practical, practical form of that. I mean, he is practically showing that. Correct. That was theory that he says I'm essence of this, I'm best of this, and actually now he is showing the all those things in the universal form. So we are seeing millions of heads, millions of eyes, millions of legs, millions of hands, and all the demigods resting in the body of this universal form. And he is showing Kala Rupa also. The soldiers are entering into the mouth of Krishna, and Arjuna also saw Bhishma, Drona, Duryodhan, Dushasan, Jayadratha, everybody entering in the mouth of Krishna as moths enter into fire. Correct? So this is the Vishwarupa form of the Lord. And as Mataji said, it is nobody can see it, only people with divine vision. Will somebody some of you are saying you have completed till 48, some of you are saying till 47. So we'll just quickly revise the 48th verse and we'll go ahead. We'll not go into much detail of it, but we'll quickly revise. So just today's, I'll just tell you how the flow of the verses. So 47 and 48, Krishna withdraws the universal form. Arjuna, you must have seen in the previous verses that Arjuna is completely bewildered and he is overwhelmed seeing the universal form of the Lord, and he is trembling with fear. He is frightened. He's struck with wonder, and so he prays to Lord. No, he's praying almost because the universal form is extended everywhere. No, he cannot find the beginning. He cannot find the end of that form. So from all directions, he is trying to pray to the Lord that please show me your Saumya Rupa. Okay, that will come in today's verse. So he is sincerely praying. And that's why now in these verses, now we know that we will see that Krishna withdraws his universal form. And then 49 and 50th verse, Krishna shows Arjuna his four-handed form. Why? Because Arjuna has requested in the previous verse, I think in 46th verse, Arjuna expresses his wish that I wish to see you in your four-armed form. Okay, so Krishna is so compassionate towards his devotees that he fulfills Arjuna's this desire also. Okay, so first Arjuna requested to show the universal form, so Krishna showed the universal form. Now Arjuna requests, I want to see you in four-handed form, Chaturbhuja Rupa. So now Krishna will show his four-handed form, and then 50 and 51 verses, Krishna will finally assume his original form, which is two-handed Dvibhuja Rupa of the most beautiful form of Lord Krishna. And then 52 to 55, Krishna's two-armed form can be directly seen only through pure undivided devotional service. How can we see Krishna? Only through pure devotional service. Okay, that we will see. So let us briefly cover verse number 48 and then we'll move ahead. Yes, Subbarao Prabhuji, you want to recite the verse?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna,
Yes.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, you can.
Naveda yajnadhyanaina daner nacha kriyarbhinna tapobhirur grey eva rupaha shakya aham loke Drishtam Twadanyena Kuru Pravira. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Prabhuji, you can read the translation
Yes,
also.
Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Translation by His Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Oh, best of the Kuru warriors, no one before you has ever seen this universal form of mind, for neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by pious activities, nor by severe penances can I be seen in this form in the material world. Purport? Shall I read purport?
No, Prabhuji,
Hare
because
Krishna.
we'll just discuss it briefly
Okay,
and
ma'am.
then we'll go to today's verses.
Thank you, Mother.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. So Krishna is saying here that this form, universal form, cannot be seen by studying the Vedas, na Veda, okay? By studying the Vedas, na yajna, not by performing sacrifices, na adhyayena, okay? Adhyayena means studying the Shastras, na danaihi means not by giving charity, or nacha kriyabhihi. Kriyabhihi means not following just by following the varnashram dharma, Brahman, Vaishya, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and then offering the fruits to Vishnu. So not by that also, and not by penances, tapobhihi, ugrahi tapobhihi. Okay, so not by severe penances, like the yogis in winter season, they submerge themselves into ice cold water, and in summer season they put fire from all sides, and they stand in that, and they try to meditate, they try to do tapasya, such severe austerities. So not by such severe austerities also I can be seen to people. That's what Krishna is saying. Correct. So this universal form of mind is very, very rare, and only people with divine vision. Prabhupada is explaining in the purport about the divine vision. Okay. So divine means godly, and unless one attains the status of divinity as a demigod, he cannot have divine vision. Okay. And demigods are nothing but devotees of Lord Vishnu. So unless and until you are a devotee of the Lord, you cannot have divine vision. And unless and until you have divine vision, unless and until Krishna gives you that mercy, you cannot see the universal form of the Lord. And that's why it was mentioned in the previous purport that Arjuna could see the universal form, and also the demigods from heavenly planets, they could see, because they had that divine vision. So they only could see that universal form of the Lord. Okay. So this is verse number 48. Let's go to the today's verse. Yes. Sudha Mataji, you want to read?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Yes. You can.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Mate vyata vacha vimudha bhavo drishtva rupam goramidram mamedam vyapeta bhiprita mana pumanastvam tadeva me rupamidam prapashya. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. You have been perturbed and bewildered by seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished. My devotee, be free again from all disturbances. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire. Purport also I should read, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, read the purport also.
Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Arjun was worried about killing Bhishma and Drona, his worshipful grandfather and master. But Krishna said that he need not be afraid of killing his grandfather. When the sons of Dhritarashtra tried to disrobe Draupadi in the assembly of the Kurus, Bhishma and Drona were silent, and for such negligence of duty, they should be killed. Krishna showed his universal form to Arjuna just to show him that these people were already killed for their unlawful action. That scene was shown to Arjuna because devotees are always peaceful and they cannot perform such horrible actions. The purpose of the revelation of the universal form was shown. Now Arjuna wanted to see the four-armed form, and Krishna showed him. A devotee is not much interested in the universal form, for it does not enable one to reciprocate loving feelings. Either a devotee wants to offer his respectful worshipful feelings, or he wants to see the two-handed Krishna form so that he can reciprocate in loving service with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Danda
Hare,
Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So here Krishna is now kind of comforting Arjuna. Okay, because Arjuna was, as I said, he was frightened and overwhelmed and his mind was disturbed and perturbed, right? So Krishna is now assuring Arjuna that now I will withdraw this Vishwaroop, and you are so much disturbed, so let's this vision be over. And now Krishna is going to show him Chaturbhuja form. So why Krishna showed this universal form to Arjuna? We know that in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, what was the problem Arjuna was facing, that seeing his grandfather, his teacher, he was not ready to fight the battle. Correct? So here Krishna is showing Arjuna that how unlawful actions they have performed. When Draupadi was being disrobed, they did not say anything to Duryodhana or Dushasana. They were silent, and for such negligence of duty, they should be killed. And Krishna is showing in the universal form how Bhishma, Drona, they are entering into the mouth of Krishna. Right? So for that, Krishna showed this universal form to Arjuna, and he's trying to tell him that they are already killed, they are going to be killed, so you just become an instrument and do your duty. Don't feel compassion for them. Correct? That's what Krishna is trying to tell Arjuna. And then Prabhupada is also explaining that a devotee is not interested. Three reasons he is giving that a devotee is not interested in seeing the universal form of the Lord. What is the first reason? Why? Because one cannot have reciprocation with the universal form of the Lord. Correct? It does not enable one to reciprocate loving feelings. Right? This is the first reason why devotees, they don't want, they are not interested in universal form of the Lord. And then a devotee wants to offer his respectful, worshipful feelings to the Lord. That is again not possible in the universal form. We know, we have seen the description of the universal form. So it is not at all possible to reciprocate with such form of the Lord. We know that if we want to cook for the Lord, it is not possible, or all the grains will be exhausted. If we want to stitch a dress for the Lord, it is so huge and it is spreaded all over the universe. We cannot, we cannot offer anything to the Lord in such a form. Correct? So that is the reason. And the last reason is he cannot reciprocate in loving service with that universal form of the Lord. Yes? Somebody wants to say something? Okay, so these are the three reasons, and that's why devotees are not interested in seeing the universal form of the Lord. Now Krishna will show the Chaturbhuja Rupa. We will see that. Next verse. Yes. Yes, Durga Mataji, you want to recite?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam.
Yes.
Yes, Mataji. Sanjaya Uvacha Ityarjunam Vasudevastatoktva Swakam Rupam Darsayamasa Bhuyaha Asvasayamasa Chabhitamenam Bhutva Punasamyavapurmahatma.
Yes, Mataji, read the
Translation and
translation.
Bhagavad. Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna. 1 minute. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki ji. Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, having spoken thus to Arjuna, displayed his real four-armed form and at last showed his two-armed form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna. Purport also shall I read, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When Krishna appeared as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, he first of all appeared as four-armed Narayana, but when he was requested by his parents, he transformed himself into an ordinary child in appearance. Similarly, Krishna knew that Arjuna was not interested in seeing a four-handed form, but since Arjuna asked to see this four-handed form, Krishna also showed him this form again and then showed himself in his two-handed form. The word Saumya Vapuhu is very significant. Saumya Vapuhu is a very beautiful form. It is known as the most beautiful form. When he was present, everyone was attracted simply by Krishna's form. And because Krishna is the director of the universe, he just banished the fear of Arjuna, his devotee, and showed him again his beautiful form of Krishna. In the Brahma Samhita 5.38, it is stated, Premanjanachurita Bhakti Vilochanena. Only a person whose eyes are smeared with the ointment of love can see the beautiful form of Sri Krishna. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji reading, Mataji was reading purport and she was becoming so happy. reading the
Really, Mataji, that
description.
Premanjanachurita Bhakti
Yeah.
Vilochanena touched my heart, Mataji, always when I read that time.
That's
Hari
what
Bol,
she
Mataji.
became, Hariful. You became so happy. Yes. So Krishna is showing here two-handed, Chaturbhuja Roop, four-handed form of Vishnu, right? So what is the difference between the Chaturbhuja Roop and the two-handed form or the Vibhuja Roop? So this Chaturbhuja Roop, it is always, it is there is reverence and respect. It is always awe and reverence when you worship Lord Vishnu. And two-handed form, it is always intimate relationship. Correct? So when Devaki, Krishna first appeared in front as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, he appeared in the four-handed form. And immediately, both Vasudeva and Devaki, they offered obeisances to him. Now just imagine when a child is born, which parents they offer obeisances to the child? Nobody, isn't it? Have you seen anybody offering obeisances to the child? Yes? Anybody has seen like that?
No, Mataji.
No, but why here? Why here? Because Krishna appeared in Chaturbhuja Roop, correct? And so they immediately paid obeisances. And then on their request, he assumed the two-handed form. And at that time, immediately, Devaki's heart was flooded with spontaneous affection for her baby. Correct. So when Lord comes in Chaturbhuja form, it is always respect. It is always awe and reverence. And there is not intimate relationship in that. And when it is two-handed form, Vibhuja Rupa, as it is said, it is the most beautiful form. It is spontaneous affection. So Krishna, everybody is attracted to Krishna, as it is written in the purport also. It is kind of perfection of our eyesight to take beautiful darshan of Krishna. In Mathura, wherever Krishna went, people, they were so attracted, they wanted to take his darshan. But we should understand that the Chaturbhuja Rupa or Vishnu Rupa, it always evokes respect from everybody. Why? Because the activities of Vishnu are like that. We will just understand through one example. Everybody knows the Samudra Manthan Leela, churning of milk ocean. So at that time, Vishnu told all the devatas and the demons that go and pick up Mandar mountain and go towards the ocean, because they wanted to churn the ocean. So he asked them to bring Mandar mountain, and all of them, they picked up that mountain, and it was very heavy. So when they were carrying that mountain to the ocean, some of them they slipped. Then some of them, they broke their legs. Some of them, they broke their hands. And because of that, what happened? The mountain started shaking and it fell on the ground. And what happened? When the mountain fell on the ground, some of them, they were smashed under that mountain. And then all they cried to Vishnu, and they asked for his help. And when Vishnu saw this, just by his glance, he gave them their life back. All of them, all the demons also and devatas also, those who left their bodies, he just glanced at them, and they came back to their life. Okay, and also their broken legs and hands, they were repaired instantly. Correct? That is the power of Vishnu, right? And we can see how majestic he is. Then what Vishnu told them, that okay, let it be, now I will do this. So he just lifted the Mandar mountain, he put it on the back of Garuda, and he flew towards the ocean. And then he put that mountain in the ocean. Then now they wanted to churn the ocean. So what was the rope for churning the ocean? Who was the rope? Who became the rope?
Vasuki?
Vasuki. The serpent Vasuki, he became the rope. But now then Lord Vishnu could put him to sleep, so that he will not vomit smoke, because they are going to churn the ocean. So they will be moving that snake, isn't it? So he put him to sleep. Then now the mountain, they started churning, but the mountain was moving. It was falling on this side or this side, because there was no base, right? So Lord took the form of Kurma, right, tortoise, and he supported the mountain from down in the ocean. Okay, so he take that avtara. Later on, it was moving. So Lord took the form of Ajita, and he sat on the top of that mountain. Then afterwards, what happened? Later came Amrut. Nectar came from that churning of the milk ocean, and he took the form of Dhanvantari. Dhanvantari, and Dhanvantari, we know that he is master of Ayurveda. And he took that pot of nectar. Now, demons, we know that demons snatched that pot of nectar because they wanted to have nectar for them only. So they snatched the pot. And so Lord took the form of Mohini avatar, isn't it? So this, you can see Lord Vishnu, he is taking any number of avatars. He can produce immediately. He can expand himself, and he can solve all the problems. This is just Samudra Manthan Leela we are just talking about, and so many forms. Lord expanded in so many forms, so many avtaras, right? So everybody thinks that he is the great, he is the master of master, and he can solve any problem, and he can help us in everything. So they think they worship him as master, but they cannot have intimate relationship with this Vishnu form of the Lord, right? On the contrary, Krishna, if you think of Krishna, then Krishna becomes, he's the cousin of all the Pandavas. Then in Vrindavan, he is surrounded always by cows and calves, and he goes for herding the cows and calves. And then when he plays on his flute, deers come, parrots come, peacocks come. Correct? When he steals butter, then he shares the butter with the monkeys. So monkeys are also part of his lila. They are also his friends. So see, all the animals in Vrindavan are his friends. In Vrindavan, you can say that not a single plant is there who to whom Krishna has not touched. Okay, not a single plant. Krishna has touched all the plants in Vrindavan. Then not a single tree who has not offered fruits to Krishna. Not a single plant who has not offered its flowers to Krishna. Okay. Yamuna also, intimate relationship. All of them, they play on the banks of Yamuna. They play in Yamuna, isn't it? So all whatever, see the animals, plants also, Krishna is having such an intimate relationship, and that is the sweetness of Krishna. And that's why it is said that this two-handed or Dvibhuja form of Krishna is the most beautiful form. And that's why pure devotees, they are eager to worship, they are eager to serve this form of the Lord. And Krishna stands in threefold bending form. We know that Krishna stands like this, his neck is bending slightly, then he is bending,
Tribhanga, they call it.
Tribhanga, correct, leg is bending, isn't it? So that is Tribhanga form, he is standing.
Yes.
Correct. So beautiful he looks. But if you see the Chaturbhuja form, Vishnu form, that form is erect. Correct. With having Shankha, Chakra, Gada and Padma in 4 hands. It is like a military officer in the office. Here, everybody salutes him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Correct. No intimate relationship as such. But the same military officer comes home and he is relaxed in a very casual mood, and he becomes horse for his children also, isn't it? So same way, Vishnu is erect and everybody is like offering obeisances and worshipping Vishnu. But the threefold bending form of Krishna, everybody is having intimate relationship with that, isn't it? The gopis, the gopas, the parents of Krishna, all are having intimate relationship. Vatsalya bhav, madhurya, sakhya, dasya, isn't it? Even so we can understand that Vishnu form, the relationship is reverential, respect, more of respect. Correct? And Krishna relationship is very, very intimate. Krishna reciprocates. We have so many stories in Bhagavatam where Krishna reciprocates with his devotees very sweetly, right? So now also in Vrindavan, there are almost 5,000 temples, and in each and every house Krishna is worshipped. Even the people, they go to their fields and they want to remove grains. So while doing that also, they are singing Krishna's songs. With hands, they are doing work, but with mouth, they are reciting songs of Krishna. Correct? In the heart, they are always remembering Krishna. Even rickshawalas in Vrindavan, many of you must have gone to Vrindavan, they just say Radhe Radhe. They are not like our city rickshawalas, isn't it? Always they are taking the name Radhe Radhe, Radhe Radhe. That is the Vrindavan mood, we can say. Correct? And we can also see Yashoda. She is churning butter in the morning, thinking that I will make the best butter, the most delicious butter, so that Krishna need not steal butters from other gopis. Okay, and so she is churning the butter in the morning, and her bangles, they are making some sound. Her earrings are moving and they are also making sound like kartals. And she is also singing. what she is singing, what kind of song she is singing. She is singing the glories of Krishna's previous day pastimes. Whatever Krishna performed, the previous day activities of Krishna, she is just singing all those things when she is churning the butter. And then Krishna wakes up and he crawls and he comes to his mother and he touches her shoulder and he says, "You called me?" Because Krishna cannot, no, whenever devotee calls him with such love and devotion, Krishna has to come there. So he comes to his mother and he asks, "Did you call me, Mama? Did you call me Ma?" Isn't it? So the thing is that this is the intimate relationship what devotees relish in Krishna. Correct? So Chaturbhuja form Krishna showed to Arjuna, but uh, Dvibhuja form, the original form of Krishna, is the most beautiful form we can see. So let's go to the next shloka.
I'll read Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Arjuna Vacha Drishtvedam Manusham Rupam Tava Saumyam Janardana Idanim Asmi Sarvrata Sacheta Prakratim Gata. All words of Srila Prabhupada. Translation. When Arjuna thus saw Krishna in his original form, he said, "O Janardana, seeing this human-like form, so very beautiful, I am now composed in mind and I am restored to my original nature."
Mataji, read the purport. Yes.
Yeah, okay, Mataji. Here the words Manusham Rupam clearly indicate the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be originally two-handed. Those who deride Krishna as if he were an ordinary person are shown here to be ignorant of his divine nature. If Krishna is like an ordinary human being, then how is it possible for him to show the universal form, and again to show the four-handed Narayan form? So it is very clearly stated in Bhagavad Gita that one who thinks that Krishna is an ordinary person and who misguides the reader by claiming that it is the impersonal Brahman within Krishna speaking, is doing the greatest injustice. Krishna has actually shown his universal form and his four-handed Vishnu form. So how can he be an ordinary human being? A pure devotee is not confused by misguiding commentaries on Bhagavad Gita because he knows what is what. The original verses of Bhagavad Gita are as clear as the sun. They do not require lamplight from foolish commentators. Thank you, Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So here Arjuna now is saying that when he saw his original form again, two-handed Dvibhuja Rupa, then he says that I am now composed in mind and I am restored to my original nature. Correct? So he was kind of pacified by seeing the Dvibhuja Rupa of Krishna again. Earlier he was frightened. He was very fearful of that universal form, but now he says, I am back to normal now. And Prabhupada mentions in the purport that people misunderstand because seeing the two-handed form of Krishna, they think of him like ordinary human being. Krishna behaves like a human, but he is not human. That we should understand. This doesn't happen with Vishnu form of the Lord. Why? Because Vishnu, it has four hands. So they already understand that four hands means this is not an ordinary human being. Because four hands, he is having Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. So there is no misunderstanding. There is no doubt that Vishnu is not ordinary human being, but he is the Lord. He is the supreme. He is the supreme person. That's what they understand. But what happens with Krishna is he appears like human, and so we find his activities also like human. Like he is herding the cows and calves. He is stealing butter. And when as a baby Yashoda takes a stick to beat him, he runs away in fear. Correct? So all these things, people are bewildered. God can be like this? God can behave like this? If he is a God, then he should not be afraid of all such things. But Krishna is behaving like ordinary human being. So they misunderstand him that he is not the God. And it is said in shloka that avajananti mam mudha. So one should understand that he is not an ordinary human being, and how one can understand this by when one hears from the parampara, correct? And then we can understand his many alaukik or impossible activities which he has done. He has lifted Govardhan mountain on the little finger of his left hand. Then he swallowed the forest fire. He killed so many demons: Aghasur, Bakasur, Putana, Pralambasur, then so many demons, Shaktasur, Trunavarta, so many demons he killed. And when he was just a small baby, isn't it? And then Yashoda, for Yashoda Mata, he showed in his belly all the holy rivers, and he shown all the universes in his mouth. So is it possible for an ordinary child to do like this? Is it possible? Can an ordinary child do like this?
No, Mataji.
No, Mataji.
Correct? So an ordinary child cannot do all these great impossible activities. So, because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he could do all these things. And now he is showing Vishwaroop, universal form, to Arjuna. And therefore, one should have proper understanding of Bhagavan. Although he is Bhagavan, he hides his qualities, or we can say. Why? In order to deal with his devotees intimately. So in Vrindavan, you see that nobody thinks that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. We have seen in all stories of childhood pastimes of Krishna, we see that Yashoda Mata, whenever they are in danger, they pray to Vishnu or they pray to Narayana, and they ask his protection for their little baby Krishna, isn't it? You must have read the stories where all these things happen. They always take shelter of Vishnu. They never think that Krishna has done, and they think that because of Lord Narayan is protecting my child Krishna, he is able to do such things. They never ever think that he is killing the demons or he is their protector. No, they are not at all in that mood of awe and reverence. They are always in loving relationship with Krishna. So in Vrindavan, Krishna doesn't play God, but he plays the role of cowherd boy, child of Yashoda, friend of cowherd boys, then lover of gopis. Correct? So he is performing human-like activities, but he is not ordinary human being, that we should understand. Let's go to the next shloka. Yeah, this is the last shloka for today. Yes, who wants to recite?
Mataji, I'll recite.
Yes.
Shri Bhagwan Uvacha Sudurdarsham idam rupam drishtavan asiyan mama deva api asya rupasya nityam darshana kanshinaha.
Yes.
Translation by Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, this form of mine you are now seeing is very difficult to be behold. Even the demigods are ever seeking the opportunity to see this form which is so dear." Purport.
Yeah, Mataji, read the first paragraph because the purport is big. So let others read the other paragraphs, okay?
Sure, Mataji. In the 48th verse of this chapter, Lord Krishna concluded, revealing his universal form, and informed Arjuna that this form is not possible to be seen by so many pious activities, sacrifices, etc. Now here the word Sudurdarsham is used, indicating that Krishna's two-handed form is still more confidential. One may be able to see the universal form of Krishna by adding a little tinge of devotional service to various activities like penances, Vedic study, and philosophical speculation. It may be possible, but without a tinge of bhakti, one cannot see that has already been explained. Still, beyond that universal form, the form of Krishna with two hands is still more difficult to see, even for demigods like Brahma and Lord Shiva. They desire to see him, and we have evidence in the Srimad Bhagavatam that when he was supposed to be in the womb of his mother, Devaki, all the demigods from heaven came to see the marvel of Krishna, and they offered nice prayers to the Lord. Although he was not at that time visible to them, they waited to see him. A foolish person may deride him, thinking him an ordinary person, and may offer respect not to him, but to the impersonal something within him. But these are all nonsensical postures. Krishna in his two-armed form is actually desired to be seen by demigods like Brahma and Shiva. Hare Krishna,
Yes.
Mother.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Who will
Mataji, one
read the?
second.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Ashish.
I'm sorry. Just 1 minute.
Yeah,
Mataji, session can be ended at 12:40.
yeah,
12:40.
12. Yeah, 12:35, 12:40. Yes,
12:40. 12:40.
Yes, yes,
Thank
yes.
Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. No problem.
Should I read,
Yeah.
Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Shilpa Mataji. Where were you, Shilpa Mataji? I was missing you.
I also missed the classes entire week. My mother was unwell, so I was there with her in Varuna.
Acha.
She's
How
fine
is
now.
She's fine.
By God's grace.
Shall I read, Mataji?
Yeah, Mataji, Shilpa Mataji is reading. Then you can. Okay, half you can read.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Mataji, I'll read matter on page, this page, and then next page Mataji can read.
Yes, actually, next page, I will tell you where to stop, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita 9.11, it is confirmed, Avajananti Mama Madhu Mama Muda Manusam Tam
Manushim Tanum Ashritam.
Manushim Tanum Ashritam. He is not visible to the foolish persons who deride him. Krishna's body, as confirmed by Brahma Samhita and confirmed by Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita, is completely spiritual and full of bliss and eternality. His body is never like a material body, but for some who make a study of Krishna by reading Bhagavad Gita or similar Vedic scriptures, Krishna is a problem. For one using a material process, Krishna is considered to be a great historical personality and very learned philosopher, but he is an ordinary man, and even though he was so powerful, he had to accept a material body. Ultimately, they think that the absolute truth is impersonal. Therefore, they think that from his impersonal feature, he assumed a personal feature attached to material nature. This is a materialistic calculation of the Supreme Lord. Another calculation is speculative. Those who are in search of knowledge also speculate on Krishna and consider him to be less important than the universal form of the Supreme. Thus, some think that the universal form of Krishna, which was manifested to Arjuna, is more important than his personal form. According to them, the personal form of the Supreme is something imaginary. They believe that in the ultimate issue, the absolute truth is not a person, but the transcendent.
Mataji,
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Nandini Mataji, you can read.
Hare Krishna. They believe that in the ultimate issue, the absolute truth is not a person, but the transcendental process is described in Bhagavad Gita chapter 4 to hear about Krishna from authorities. That is the actual Vedic process, and those who are actual in the Vedic line hear about Krishna from authority, and by repeated hearing about him, Krishna becomes dear. As we have several times discussed, Krishna is covered by his Yoga Maya potencies. He is not to be seen or revealed to anyone and everyone. One by one, to whom he reveals himself can be seen. This is confirmed in the Vedic literature. For one who is surrendered soul, the absolute truth can actually be understood. The transcendentalist, by continuous Krishna consciousness and by devotional service to Krishna, can have his spiritual eyes opened and can see Krishna by revelation. Such a revelation is not possible even for the demigods.
Therefore, it is difficult even for the demigods to understand Krishna, and the advanced demigods are always in hope of seeing Krishna in his two-handed form. The conclusion is that although to see the universal form of Krishna is very, very difficult and not possible for anyone and everyone, it is still more difficult to understand his personal form as Shyama Sundara. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Here in this verse, the word Sudurdarsham is very important. In 48th verse, Krishna says that Vishwarup or universal form is rarely to be seen. It is Durdarsham. But in this verse, Krishna is saying that two-handed form is Sudurdarsham, means it is still more rare, very, very rare than universal form. Why Krishna is saying like this? Because Arjuna should not get stuck with the universal form. Because when Arjuna saw the universal form, he was overwhelmed and he was struck with wonder, seeing the greatness of the God. And he says also in 42nd verse that I had played with you, I was eating with you, I was sleeping with you, but please forgive me if I have, I dealt with you very casually. But now I realized that you are the God, you are the supreme personality of Godhead. So that is those are his feelings. And so Krishna is telling that he should not get stuck with that universal form, because that is not the ultimate. Correct? It is just an expansion of Krishna. And Krishna says that I have shown this universal form, which is very rare, and which no one has seen before. That also Krishna tells Arjuna. Only a partial of this universal form has shown, but this form is not shown to anybody. But this two-handed form is Sudurdarsham. That is very, very, very rare. Correct? And why this is rare? Because it looks like human form, ordinary human being like us, but it is the source of all expansions, like Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narsimha, all avtaras, all expansions are coming from this form of the Lord. Like some of you may know the Dashavatar Stotra, that it says Keshavadruta Narahari Rupa, Keshavadruta Amina Sharira, Keshavadruta Vamana Rupa, Keshavadruta Sukara Rupa. So all are coming, Keshavadruta means all are coming from Keshava, that is Krishna. Correct? And even Garbhodakshai Vishnu, Kshirodakshai Mahavishnu, this Vishwarup, four-handed form of Vishnu, all are coming from Krishna only. Hare Krishna. Yeah. And Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, Mattah Parataram Nanyat Kinchid Asti Dhananjaya. Okay, Mattah Parataram Na Anyat. Nobody is equal to me or greater than me or superior to me, higher than me. Right? So Krishna, being the source of all the incarnations, all the avatars, he is saying that this form is Sudurdarsham. And one more reason he is saying that two-handed form can be easily misunderstood by onlookers or Mayavadis, because they think that, like, Brahma was bewildered when Krishna was reciprocating with his cowherd boys, friends. Brahma was bewildered how this can be God. Similarly, Mayavadis also, they misunderstand that God must be very big and very great. So they foolishly think that this cannot be God. No, he is doing human-like activities. So how can this be God? But Krishna, we should understand that he may be small, means he may be looking like human being like us, but his activities are bigger. His energies are acting everywhere. So some people look at his activities and they misunderstand him. But all these misconceptions are there, but we should understand that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And this form the Devatas, they also aspire to see this form of the Lord. It is written in the verse that Deva apyasya rupasya nityam darshana kakshinaha. They are also eager to see this form of the Lord. It is mentioned in the purport that when Devaki was going to beget Krishna as her child, the Devatas, they were offering prayers from heavenly planets to Krishna invisibly in the jail of Kamsa. And Devatas, they are aspiring for Krishna's darshan. So there is a sweet pastime. One day in Vrindavan, in the backyard of Nanda Maharaj, Krishna, a small boy, he was playing with a crystal ball. And you know that crystal ball has multiple facets. So Krishna's face was reflecting in those facets everywhere, smiling face of Krishna. And Krishna, as a small child, he was amazed by seeing his reflections everywhere. And so he threw the ball to this side, a little distance, pick it up again. He threw it on that side and pick it up again. He was playing like that. And actually, he was all alone. We should understand that Krishna is never alone. He is always surrounded by his devotees. Then why he was alone? Just to perform Leela. So seeing that Krishna was alone, the Devatas from heavenly planets, they thought that this is a good opportunity. We can have association of the Lord. So they came down. Okay, and Krishna, seeing them, he was reciprocating with them. He was calling them Lord Shiva. He was greeting Lord Shiva, Indra, or the Kubera, all the demigods. They came there, and he was having nice conversation with them. He was reciprocating with them, and he was asking them questions. Are they peaceful? Is everything going in their abodes peacefully, correctly? He was talking about like that. And at that time, Yashoda Mata was searching for the baby, and she came there. And she was searching where Krishna has gone, and she came. And when she came there, she heard Krishna talking like that. And because of her eyes, they were tinged with love. She could not see the Devatas. They were invisible. And she just saw Krishna talking something like this. And she thought that he is bluffing. And he said, "What are you doing here? Come, let's go. We have to go inside." And she picked him up and she went inside. And all the Devatas, they were, they wanted to associate with the Lord. Their mouths were wide open. Krishna has gone. Like that. They were thinking like that. So that's why it is said as Nityam Darshana Kankshinaha. They are aspiring for Lord's this darshan, but it is rare for them also. Correct? And this is Krishna says that this form is very difficult to behold. Such a beautiful form is this, because people cannot understand, they misunderstand. This is the very embodiment of all powers, all rasas, causes, essence, best of everything, but they cannot understand this form of the Lord. Only this form is very dear to the hearts of pure devotees, unalloyed devotees of the Lord. And that's why universal form is confidential, but this is the most confidential, even more confidential than that, and very rare to see. That is what it is said. Now, in the purport, 2-3 things are mentioned. We will just quickly see that. Misconceptions. Karmis, they have a lot of misconceptions. First, they think that the Lord is, great historical personality and a very learned philosopher. And they think him as an ordinary man. And they think that even though he is powerful, he has to accept this material body. So these are the misconceptions karmis they have. And ultimately, then they think that absolute truth is impersonal. Then speculators, speculators also, they have misconceptions that those who are in search of knowledge, they also speculate on Krishna and consider him to be less important than the universal form of the Supreme. And they think that the universal form of Krishna, which was manifested, is more important than this personal form. And ultimately, they think that the personal form of the Lord is imaginary. So these are the misconceptions, correct? And they believe that in the ultimate issue, the absolute truth is not a person. But we should understand that through correct process, we can understand that how Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what is that correct process? To understand from the authorities. In 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu. So the knowledge which is coming from the parampara, we have to hear from that process, and then only we can understand the supremacy of the Lord. And then we will not speculate about Krishna. And not only just hear, but we have to repeatedly hear. Then only Krishna becomes dear to us. Because when you hear Krishna Katha, initially there is resistance. One does not like it. But when one keeps on hearing several times, repeatedly, gradually taste increases. Like, for example, sugarcane juice. For a person who is having jaundice, the sugarcane juice tastes bitter. Does that mean sugarcane juice is bitter in taste? Sugarcane juice is always sweet, isn't it? But the person who is having jaundice, it tastes bitter, correct? So the person keeps on taking sugarcane juice again and again and again and again, and after a few days or 1 month or so, then he starts tasting it sweet. Why? Because the disease goes, as the disease goes away from the body, he starts tasting the real taste of sugarcane juice. Similarly, when we neophytes, they are not ready to hear Krishna Katha, correct? But they run away from it. But if they hear it, like sugarcane juice taken for 1 or 2 months, then it starts tasting sweet. So sugarcane juice doesn't change its taste. Only thing is that it is always tasty. Similarly, Krishna Katha or Krishna Nam, it is always tasty. But when we keep on repeatedly doing it, taking the names of Krishna, then that taste will arise in us, and disease will go away, and then we can relish Krishna's names, correct? So that's why this process is very important. We have to follow this process, and then we can see the Krishna in intimate relationship with him. And one more thing mentioned here is Krishna says that he is covered by Yoga Maya potency. Like a cloud, sun is there in the sky, but because the cloud is there in between, in our vision, we cannot see the sun clearly, right? So that doesn't mean that sun is not there. Only the sun is not visible to our vision. So what we do is we can take an aeroplane and we can go beyond that cloud and we can see shining sun in the sky. So similarly, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva ye prapantyante Maya Metam Tarantite. So this Maya is very difficult to cross over. But if you surrender to me, I will take you beyond the cloud of Maya and you can see me eye to eye. That promise Krishna is giving. Correct? So we have to surrender through the process of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, studying Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, living in the association of devotees, eating only prasadam, and obediently following what Krishna tells us to do. then only we can definitely we can see Krishna personally in very intimate relationship, right? So that is all for today. So anybody has any comments or questions? Otherwise, we will stop because Prabhuji has said we should stop by 12:40. Any comments or any questions? Otherwise, we will stop immediately.
Mataji, actually, I have one.
Yes.
Not related
One
to
second.
today's class, but in
Okay.
general.
Okay, Ashish Prabhu, you want to say something? Should we stop? We can
Actually,
ask the question in the
yeah.
group.
Can you put it in the group? Sorry for
Yes,
that. Can you
yes.
put it
Sure,
in the
sure,
group? What
Prabhuji.
your answer? Because
Yeah,
today we are
because
starting a new session. It's the first day today.
Okay, okay.
Sure,
Yes.
sure.
So, yes, thank you, Prabhuji. We will just end the session. Vacha kalpatarubhyascha krupa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaः. Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you all
Thank
for
you, Mataji.
joining.
Dandavat pranam, Mataji.
Mataji, Dandavat pranam.
Any questions you can put in the group. Thank you
Yes,
so
Sure,
much.
Mataji. Thank you.
Very nice to explain, Mataji. Very nice to
Very
explain.
nice class, Mataji.
Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna. I will
Hare Krishna.
close.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Ashish Prabhuji.
Yes, yes.
Can I leave Prabhuji?
Please, all of you leave. And those who are
Yeah.
those who have come for Kannada, they can be here.
Okay, I'll end the session, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Yeah.